Now, here's the big one everybody hears about. Affordability, affordability, affordability. It costs, and I think that CNBC puts this up every day, showing how it costs like $1,000 more to buy a home this year compared to last year. Let's go through the numbers, okay? Because I want you to understand this. Is it more expensive? Of course it is. Is it less affordable? Of course it is. Is it as bad as they say? No. And here's why. Here's what we have to explain to our customers. In 2021, a year ago, a $400,000 home at 3.5% was $1,796 a month. So we've seen 18% appreciation. We've seen mortgage rates go up 2%. But here's the thing too, is that to qualify for this principal and interest payment, their household income had to be around, you had two income earners, one earning $4,000 or $5,000 a month, total of $9,000 a month. Now this year, because of 18% appreciation, instead of a $400,000 mortgage, you got to borrow $472. We know rates have gone up from 3.5%. Let's call it 6%. They're actually a little less than that now, but let's get crazy. Your payment's gone up $1,000 a month. Wow, that's really bad, right? Well, by the way, all incomes have gone up by 6%. But if you take out the bottom 25% of people who are not home buyers at this point in time, why do we take them out? Because that terrific young person who's working at a fast food restaurant, earning $12 an hour, whatever it is, they're just not a home buyer today. God willing, they will be sometime in the future. But we shouldn't take their incomes into consideration because they're not at the present time in the equation. Those that are, they've seen their incomes go up 8%. So that means they're making $720 a month more. This greatly offsets this. Now, folks, let's be fair. Inflation's been hard on us. It's cost us $79 a month more in food, maybe up to $160 a month more in gas, and services $73 a month. These are on the high end of the scale. So between the mortgage and this, it's costing you $1,300 a month more, but more than half of that has been mitigated by the fact that the incomes are going up too. And that's why we have to look at the whole picture. Is it more difficult? It is. It's not as bad as they say though, folks. And the thing of it is that what this is doing is it's removing some of the buyers. Yes, but the remaining pool of buyers is still greater than the pool of inventory that's out there. And that's why we're seeing upside pricing pressure. So we know rents are tough. Rents are going up 14% a year. Renewals are 8% a year, but remember that renewals every single year. We see mid to high single digit appreciation this year, and we see it continuing in the mid single digits. Is that bad? Well, let me give you an example. What if it was only 4% appreciation? Is your customer going to be upset with 4% appreciation? Let me show you something. Let's just use, for simplicity, a $100,000 home. If you put 10% down, your investment in that home is $10,000. 4% appreciation means that $100,000 home gave you a $4,000 profit. So you tell me, what percent return is a $4,000 profit on a $10,000 investment? It's a 40% return. That's an amazing return on your money, folks. Real estate, even at these lower rates of appreciation, are really strong. Now, people are going to think about renting, or maybe people say they miss because their credit or whatever. There are opportunities by using different tools out there like non-QM. The problem is that if you talk about a $400,000 home with a 360 mortgage, they have to pay a really high rate of 7.5 with 2 points. And somebody might say, I'm not even going to tell my customer that. I'm not going to insult them with a 7.5% rate. Or the mortgage professional may be bashful about it. Here's the way to explain it. It's the opportunity overall on wealth creation. And this is how it works. Now, we picked a few markets around the country. The average per year, about 4.49 is the forecast, and 4.19 has been the average for the last 62 years. They think they're going to be there for the next 9 years. So right in line, but the forecast is a little bit stronger just because the demographics are better. Annual property taxes, let's tell them all the negatives. Remember, we want to be vulnerable here. We don't want to tell them just the good. Let's tell them all the bad. Your taxes go up. You don't have that when you're renting. You're going to have repair costs that a landlord would cover if you're renting. And on a $400,000 home, it's about $2,000 a year, or about $166 a month on average. That's going to be an additional expense for home ownership. In addition to that, if you sell the home in the future, 9 years from now, on that appreciated value, you're going to have to pay 6% in fees in order to sell that home. You don't have that when you're renting. So here's all the negatives. Now, on the rental, a comparable rental payment for that $400,000 home, let's say, is $2,750. The year-over-year increases, let's just say they're only 4%. Let's make this look really pretty. The national average is like 8%. But let's say your rent's only going to go up 4% a year. Just to make this simple, should I buy or not with the 7.5% rate? Well, here we go. If you look to purchase the home, your monthly payment's going to be more than $700 a month more to buy than to rent. That doesn't look good, right? But even with just this mini 4% annual increase in rents, you can see that the rentals eventually eclipses, the purple line eclipses the mortgage payment. Now, over the 9 years that this person thinks they're going to be there, they would spend more by buying. They would spend $30,000 more buying the home than renting the home, but not so fast, because part of that is their mortgage payment. So your mortgage payment's made up of principal and interest. Well, I think you all know the interest goes to who? It goes to the lender. But you tell me, where does the principal go? The principal is your own money. Look, if I had cash in my left-hand pocket and I take it from my left-hand pocket and I put it in my right-hand pocket, it's still mine. It's just in a different place. If it's in your checking account when you make the mortgage payment and you pay them principal, it is now in equity in your home because you owe less. It's still your money. It's just in a different place. And that amounts to $41,000 in equity that you built from amortization. Nobody talks about that, but it's critical that you do. Then there's the magic elixir of appreciation. And this is the shocker. You know, Albert Einstein said the eighth wonder of the world is compound interest. And just at 4.49% appreciation, you got $194,000. $194,000 that you get in appreciation from this, which means that your home value would be $593,000. Now, when it comes time to sell, you got to pay 6% on that. And you do get a tax benefit. Tax benefit you get to is $17,000 over the 9 years. And you got a cost to sell of $35,000. So when you put it all together, was it better to buy or better to rent? Well, the answer is it's better to buy by $175,000. Now, if you're in there for 7 years, it's $110,000. If you're in there for only 4 years, still $34,000. Clearly it pays to do that. But here it is, Mr. and Mrs. Client. If you're going to be there less than 2 years, rent. Because here's the thing. Your initial closing costs and your cost to sell will outweigh the benefits. But if you're going to be there longer than 2 years, clearly, even though the rate's 7.5%, you should buy. Plus, you're going to have the opportunity to make these numbers much better if you refinance and when rates do come down, and they will during that recession.